Next, we'll move on to item number 66 on our regular agenda, which is to consider the report from Community Television on the vote of the membership authorizing merger negotiations and related actions. I see Mr. Bowling is ready to report.
Hi, Kevin Bowling, Director of Information Services. As you know, the membership completed their vote last night. We have Keith Gudger here to tell us the results of the vote and to decide next steps based on that. So I'm just going to turn it over to Keith.
Thank you, Kevin. Yes, we certified our election at 5:30 last night. We feel that we had a very successful election and that we had 103 members vote, with 86% in favor of the bylaw changes. This vote was about 2.5 times the normal turnout of about 40 that we see. However, our bylaws state we must have more than 50% positive votes for a bylaw change of this magnitude, and we did not reach this threshold. By next week, Community TV will have a new interim executive director. We feel that our choice will inspire new enthusiasm. Combined with the hard work of our board and volunteers, we feel that we can get the required votes by the fall. We have work to do to be ready for 2014. As one of our executive director candidates stated, if the county pursues an RFP at this time, the new director will have a difficult time convincing organizations and individuals in our county to contribute or to partner with us. We feel that if the county pursues an RFP now, this will unnecessarily hinder us at a critical time for our organization. We respectfully request that you postpone this action until the fall. Thank you. I'd like to say that the board is encouraged and optimistic. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess, are there questions from members of our board? Well, then I'll ask one. You mentioned that about the hiring of a new executive director, and your request is to not move forward with our request for proposals for the work that we do with community TV. What's going to change between now and the fall to lead you to believe that you'll be able to get more people to vote and that you'll be able to right the ship?
There's two things, but most of it is that we feel that the excitement and enthusiasm of a new interim executive director will motivate the membership. In the interviews for the candidates, the three finalists all stated really amazing plans for getting the membership involved and excited and involved in this election. We also plan to have a longer term for our election. This one we had 30 days from announcement to closure. We would like to take the end of July through August into September to actually get the vote in. I think you can see from the fact that we had over 6-1 in favor that we did a good job in motivating the members to realize this was in their best interest. Where we didn't do a good job is getting enough members to vote. The membership is interested in this change. They're just not interested enough to vote.
Yeah, my sense about it is that I feel like community TV's waited far too long to get this process started, and I'm encouraged by the large number of people to come out, but I'm very concerned about not being prepared for a change that's going to be happening. And there is a window that opens on July 1st, 2013, where we get to choose about who we're going to contract with. And I personally feel, although I can't make a motion, that we should start the RFP process, and that would not exclude community TV from participating in it, and hopefully would be an encouragement to the membership and the board and others to organize themselves effectively to participate in this RFP, and we could have the return of the RFP after a suggested vote, but I don't feel like we should wait with our process and in the hopes that this milestone vote, you know, of a major change for a number of voters of the membership will be achieved, because it's the summer. I just think it's going to be a lot harder. So Supervisor Stone.
So I guess that raises a good question, because what the recommendation was, if the vote failed, was to move forward with the RFP, working with the city of Santa Cruz. And I guess the subtlety there was, if we moved forward in order to create the RFP, but didn't necessarily issue it, but had it ready to go, would that not interfere with your process, give you a little bit more time to work with your membership, and then if by a certain date we didn't get the vote, then we would issue that RFP and then be able to move forward?
To us, what's happening is the new executive director is not going to only need to motivate the members, they need to motivate the community to support community TV even more so, both fundraising and through partnerships. And we feel that the RFP hanging over this person's head is like handcuffing them. It's going to keep them from being able to do an effective job.
Well, it wouldn't be, I mean, this would be more behind the scenes to get it ready to go. It wouldn't be issued, it wouldn't be on the streets.
Right.
And that way, if there was a problem, we could react more quickly, because we do have a hard date. So the intent would be not to undermine that process, not to undermine the new executive director, but at least have things ready to go. And not a Damocles sword at all, but just a logical process is, I think, what we're...
Well, point of clarification, what you're suggesting is we prepare the RFP, but not issue it just yet.
Correct. Correct.
And then come back in August to have that discussion.
Yeah, and sort of see where things stand. I'm going to ask CAO, I mean, what would you say about a process like that? The goal here is the success, and we want to do everything we can for that success, but the nervousness up here, I think, is waiting too long and then not being able to react in time so that we have a process of itself that fails.
I think your suggestion is an excellent one. We do have a limited amount of time in order to proceed with an RFP, and I think we all want to partner with community TV. And I think if the vote were done in that spirit, I would hope that the executive director would understand that this isn't an effort to undermine those efforts. This is an effort to encourage them, to have them move forward, to show how important that they are. And, you know, again, I think if it were viewed in that way, and if we encourage the executive director to see it in that way, if that's your board's policy hope, I think we might be able to have our cake and eat it too, because I think all of us feel like a change in the community TV arrangement would be a difficult change. It would require, you know, a whole host of actions on the part of the county, and in order to avoid doing that, we need to have a good, strong foundation upon which we can work. Now, I don't think the new director is going to come in and be able to turn around fundraising and be able to turn around, you know, the education of the community in this short period of time, but hopefully if they were able to get the bylaws amendments resolved and be able to work on a structure that looks like it has hope, I think that would be the best case scenario. And then the efforts on fundraising and longer term strategies would have to be identified early, but take a little time to implement. I know that would be difficult for anyone to do at this stage.
Okay, well, let me try a motion then that we authorize county staff to work with representatives of the city of Santa Cruz to develop a request for proposals for a new provider for local PEG channels, get it ready, but not issue it, and then report back at August 14th to sort of to see where we stand. And by then, hopefully you'll have a new executive director, and that'll give us a chance to continue that conversation and see where we stand. And again, the intent, not to undermine the new executive director, but have the documents essentially ready to go should we need them, so that we can meet our timelines.
Second.
So there's a motion on the floor from Supervisor Stone, seconded by Supervisor Peary. Supervisor Coonerty.
Yeah, I believe that we both share the same goal, which is to have a vital, vibrant community TV, public resource TV here. But I think that we need to move this in this direction in order to ensure that, and you have an inside track. I mean, you have the ability to respond to this challenge, whether it becomes an RFP or it doesn't become an RFP, but we'll postpone it till August, and hopefully you'll be able to do that. But I think it's very prudent for us to move forward at this point, so I'll support the motion.
Yeah, I'm hoping that when we come back on August 14th, that we have an RFP prepared, that we talk about what the timeline's going to be for issuing that RFP. I'm not exactly sure when you're contemplating the vote of your membership, another vote of your membership will be.
Would be September.
Can I just say one thing? It will be difficult to have a completed RFP by that time frame. We will have something in some state, but don't expect one completed by that date.
But I think the idea is continue to work on that.
Yes.
Let's not put the brakes on until we really know what's happening with community TV.
We're merely authorizing you to get started on that process because I do expect it's going to be a long process. And if you
Right.
don't start that until August, September, then you're going to be even further behind.
Right. And then I'd also like to remind you that their contract is up at the end of June 2013. We have until 2014, or end of June 2014, before DIVCA kicks in. If they're starting to make a turnaround effort and it looks promising, we could always do a small contract extension to allow them, to give them more time before we actually issue everything out. So you can watch the progress.
Listen, I want community TV to be successful, and this board has been a strong supporter of community TV, but to ensure that we are prepared for that moment that DIVCA kicks in, I personally want to see community TV right their ship rather quickly at this point, because there's been a lot of time. The board and the organization has waited a very long time to start preparing for this change. And now, to me, there's a clock ticking, and I'd like us to move fairly deliberatively to get to the next square. And this gives community TV an opportunity to do what they need to do, but I just want to make sure that they understand that the time for action is now. And I expect that when we come back in August, that there's going to be that there will be a vote process that will be underway, and that in September you get the 150 votes or not. If you don't, then I don't feel as though it's our job to keep on giving you chances.
Right. And then in August, we can report back where we are on the RFP. I mean, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. So is there any other public testimony about this? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is James Fisher. In addition to being a business owner in the downtown area, I'm also elected by the membership to serve on the board of directors for community television. And I'm just here to give testimony that certainly, regardless of what's happened in the past, I've been on the board for about a year and a half now, and certainly there's a sense of urgency, but with that urgency there's also a new sense of renewal and excitement right now. I know that we have some new members coming on, and certainly I want to walk away today feeling clear about what we're expected to do for August 14th, and it sounds like to confirm that we have a decent process underway for the vote, and also to present to you that we're continuing forward on the many fronts that we have going forward. So that's basically why I was here today. If there are any questions that I can ask, I'll certainly be happy to answer, or rather, I'd certainly be happy to.
Thank you. Others? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Matilda Rent. I was elected by the members to the Board of Community Television in January. And I must say that during the time that I've been on the board, I've seen an increasingly effective way of dealing with the situation at community television and the changes that we're getting in 2014. I've been part of the interim executive director interview process, and we have some superb candidates, and we are definitely on the up and up with what needs to be done. So I want to tell you that during the time I've been on the board, I've seen an increased improvement at the board at community television. So I thank you for the extension and of getting the voters that we need to change our bylaws. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mr. Chairman, Board, Steve Plage, Santa Cruz. It goes without saying that we have to do everything we can to make sure that community access TV is vital and an important part of the community. I understand that this board has its process, and I'm certain that they will undertake that process with the hope in mind that community TV can be the kind of treasured resource that it has been for many, many, many years. But I say this now to you here as much for the public benefit as for anything else, because if community TV is to survive, if we are to preserve this tremendous and treasured process and resource, the community has to be involved. We have to have community back in community TV. So for the community TV broadcasters, anybody listening here, we thank you for your support. We appreciate the fact that you have your process, but the community must be involved if we are to save and maintain community TV. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to? There is a motion on the table. Is everybody clear on what the motion is? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. See you back here in August.